Hey, it's Sarah! So I'm doing my exploratory project on fear, and in my first essay I looked at Jim Dine's Carnival in comparison with Keats's When I Have Fears. And I specifically looked at how to conquer fear. So ever since that essay, mostly due to my lovely writing partner Edwin's thoughts, I've been wondering about whether fear is a good or a bad thing, whether it's a strength or a weakness. I felt pretty indifferent about it until I talked to Edwin, and Edwin seemed to think it was obvious that it's a common notion that fear is a weakness and that it's everyone's goal to dissolve it. Ipso facto, I owe this following discussion to my writing partner, Edwin. So in Gandhi's Hind Swaraj,
did I pronounce that correctly?
Gandhi creates a dialogue between an editor and a reader in which he discusses the idea of home rule for India. He believes that Indians, instead of adopting the ways of the English government, need to stand up for themselves by establishing their own ways of government. The key difference in this way, as opposed to all other ways, is the use of non-violence. Gandhi is all about not using violence. Gandhi very heavy-handedly implies that violence is cowardly, and that it exists through the presence of fear. He wants the goal of Indians to be to act according to what is right, as opposed to what a superior tells them to do. He states this by saying, "He should not do that which he knows to be wrong, and suffer the consequence whenever it may be." This demands fearlessness as a means for standing up to a ruling force and not fearing punishment. Essentially, the English have the Indians binded by fear, and Gandhi says this fear must be dissipated in order to unveil the haze on his people's eyes, because what is granted under fear can only be retained so long as that fear lasts. So basically, Gandhi thinks that there's cowardice in violence. But then I was like,
wait a minute.
Isn't violence often associated with courage? Like in the Red Badge of Courage, or in our most recent text, Pontecorvo's Battle of Algiers, or even in All About My Mother, when Manuela helps her friend Agrado by being violent against Agrado's attacker and essentially saving her friend. It seems Gandhi would say that Manuela's action contains fear, because a passive resistor displays fearlessness. But maybe Gandhi is just speaking in terms of ideological things and not physical. He does say that strength lies in the absence of fear, not in the quantity of flesh and muscle we may have on our bodies. So perhaps then Manuela was just being strong physically and not emotionally. So then it follows that Gandhi must be more concerned with the means rather than reaching the goal. He digs deeper in this in his chapter on means, in which he states that reaching an end goal is only worth something if the means by which you got there is good. This helps support the main idea that acting in accordance with what you think to be right is better than doing something when you know that it's wrong just because a superior told you to do it. This takes courage, i.e. lack of fear.
Lack of fear.
Therefore, courage is required in doing something contrary to the normal quota. Well, this reminds me of Agrado and How I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother.
No. And All About My Mother. When she stood up on stage and defended her choice of physical surgery when most of the crowd was disapproving of it. So then here it seems that fear with Gandhi lines up pretty well with the fear, or lack thereof, that Agrado has in her personality. So I draw from this that the emotion of fear itself could be good or bad, I don't really know yet. But I do draw that how you use it determines whether it's good or bad. It's the means, the way, the method.
The means, the way, the method.
Like, perhaps Manuela exhibited some fear in fending off that attacking man, at least according to Gandhi, but she acted this way because she determined within herself that it was the right mode of action, contrary to what anyone else told her. She used fear as a motivating emotion, rather than a restricting one. It must follow, therefore, that there is not one existing fear, but rather many different types. In my next essay, I wish to discuss these types of fears, so hold on to your hat. And fear not!